Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and a very special video for you tonight. 5 tools of the trade. These are my top 5 free tools that I use to help make my trading decisions. There'll be calendars, some information sites and stuff, but these are pretty much free resources, really good, and hopefully you gain some knowledge from it. I'm DayTraderRockStar. I trade every day. I have a site, DayTradingRadio.com, and I am trading on that site every single day. I'm a full-time trader and a broadcaster, so we talk about a lot of different things, and over time I use a lot of tools. So these are some of the favorite tools that I like to use to kind of bring you information. People always ask me, where do I get my news? Where do I get information? And if we're trading in front of the market for for eight hours a day, 6 to 8 hours a day, we don't want to. We know certain areas of the market are going to be more productive, and I could actually show you how to find those areas also. And even if you want to trade overnight, some good levels to watch for overnight trading, because we're all over the world. Where it's 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock here on the Eastern Standard Time, it could be somewhere else, so a different time somewhere else in the world, and it can be overnight. And there'll be there's trading going on around the clock. And now with the introduction to Bitcoin trading, there's just constant movement in the market. So there's certain times in the market we want to pay attention to, and I hope to get some of that information out to you today. So let's start off with the disclaimer. Of course, you can lose all your money trading. Trading is risky, and you should only use capital that you can lose. Review the disclaimer. Make sure that you understand it, and understand that there's no sure thing in trading. All right, let's get right to the thing. Again, my 5 top tools of the trade, we're going to call this video. All right, let's start off with a good calendar. Depending on what you're trading, you could be trading futures or stocks, options. There's always a market for that, and there's always a beginning and end usually. And those time frames, when the market opens up, when the market closes, tend to bring a lot more volume. But there's also news releases, and news releases could easily be tracked on different calendars. One of the better calendars out there, free calendars, the Forex Factory calendar. You can see I try to put the name of it in there. It's forexfactory.com. And what's great about this calendar, even though I'm on the East Coast here, and I trade the U.S. markets typically, this will actually give you the 24-hour clock and around the clock where news might be being released over in China, New Zealand, Europe, and that's very important, because we know that, as I always tell you, some of the good times to start looking to trade overnight is around that 3 to 3:30 time frame when the European markets open up. But we also have to remember that 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when Asia starts to open up, and we start to see the market news come out there. So this is a great site to kind of measure that. You go up here, you put in your time zone. You can just click on that time option, and you could say, all right, I'm maybe in the Hawaiian time zone. You click on that, and it'll give you your updated time zone. So just you can adjust it that way. I have it set on Eastern time, and then it just goes by date, and it's just an excellent little calendar here. The red, yellow, and gold represents the high, if it's a medium impact or a high impact release, or kind of a low impact release. So the red ones are very important, so that's marked out for us. Now today is Tuesday, September 3rd. Just to give you an example, we had the ISM number today, and the market dropped off on that. We also had some news coming out just before around 9:30, and the market popped on that. So these are the levels, and we can go out each day and kind of extend that. You go out up next and stuff. But this is again Forex, the Forex Factory. Just it kind of keeps you up to date on what's coming up. Plan out your trade. You can just keep on going to Wednesday, and you can see tomorrow morning things start to service PMI. See what that is. Great Britain, Europe, some retail news, retail sales out of Europe, Canadian trade balance, our trade balance. Bank of Canada rate decision. There's a lot of just a lot of information out there you might want to pay attention to. It also has some of the main speakers here. FOMC member Bullard speaks, Beige Book, and all the speakers. So definitely worth taking a look at. I kind of go over this in the morning, each morning on the show, right around 8:30 to 9 o'clock when we do our pre-market news. So there it is. That's a great little site. I use it mainly just for this, just to kind of point out that the evening hours for those out there trading the futures. So I'm going to take a fast look at the futures right now. I'm just going to drag my screen over here to the body here, and you can actually see the market here started popping here earlier in the evening, and there was some news being released, and the market actually up right now 9.25. But we'll know if you're trading it or maybe waiting for a trade. You want to watch the levels that news is going to be released, and that's going to give you the volume and the opportunity to place a trade at those levels. You don't want to just be choppy and sideways. You want to trade around the levels that news is being released. Now, it becomes a little bit more difficult because news is news, and it could go either way. But news also kind of points out where we're going to have our divergences. And we trade lots of times on divergences, watching some of the indicators versus the price level, and the divergence typically happens when there's an event out there that causes the market to spike or move aggressively in one direction, and we are able to measure that with some of our indicators and see if that's a real move or a counter move or a divergence or convergence. And that's an excellent tool to use. So if we know that some news is coming out at 9:30, we can get our trade ready, and we know not to waste time waiting at 7:30 or 6 o'clock. We could go out and do something. Get back in front of the computers at certain times. Remember, 3 o'clock to 3:30 overnight session is very important. We'll talk about those time frames right now. Let's bring this back over here, like that. Just going to give you a rundown, just a basic rundown here on the different time frames and the hours of trade. Now, familiar with the, I take it that everyone's familiar with the U.S. Markets, but just in case you're not, we'll start with that. Again, we do have a pre-market trade opens up at 4 a.m. and regular opening is at 9:30. After hours, 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. Stocks stop trading at 8 p.m. So you will see trading going up to about 8 p.m. And of course, our normal trading day is 9:30 cash open to 4 o'clock. Canada, basically the same thing. Asia, the Shanghai market here at 9:30. Now remember, we're a 12-hour difference here, so that would be 9:30 in the evening. So it's pretty. This is a good one to watch. The Asian markets when the markets open up. Here's 9 o'clock in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. Hong Kong 9:30 a.m. So 12-hour difference. It would be 9:30 p.m. And again, they have a lunch period and what local times. In Europe, the same thing. We usually tend to talk about, and when I discuss or go over the charts overnight, we always look at that 3 o'clock time frame. That 3 o'clock time frame is when most of the European markets open up. In Paris, it opens up. There's a 6-hour difference, so that would be 3 o'clock. Again, here again, Swiss time. The London Stock Exchange will be a little bit before that, but we'll start to see activity really start to come in right around that 3 to 3:30 time frame. And remember, when the markets open up, like our markets open up, we tend to have the news come out at the market open. So when Asian markets are open up, that's when we tend to have the Asian news come out. When the European markets open up, we tend to have the European news open up. And you can see some of this right here. The 3 o'clock, 3:50 a.m., all this right in the morning. Final the PMI, just like we have ours at 10 o'clock. They'll have theirs an hour after. So this is a great tool, just understanding what time frames you want to trade. You don't have to be in front of the computer 24/7, looking for a good trade, but trade around the time frames where there's news. You really should plan this out. One thing I always stress is trading for a living or trading and being serious about it should be a business for you, and you should be so organized to know exactly when these news items are coming out and in what country. If you want to try to trade the futures overnight or something, or the forex or anything that trades in a different country, you should know which what news is coming out and what time. So there's a great tool for that. Let's go to the next tool. So another good thing to know is earnings. So what is a good what are coming out with earnings, or what companies coming out, when the earnings are, what's expected. Now there's plenty of sites out there. This is a really nice one, Earnings Whisper. It gives you the whisper number too, which is kind of like, it's a general trader's consensus, not the analyst consensus of what it is. It's usually a little bit more or less depending on what it is, but that's what the whisper number is, the real deal number. Coop just came out with earnings today. It was up, but it's nice. It tells you what the estimates are. You could go out to each day. Like tomorrow, we'll go to Wednesday. We'll take a look. American Eagle, Outfitter, Navistar, Vera Bradley, Show More, and just goes right down the list. Now, there's one way of looking at it. Sometimes they can get overwhelming. If there's right in the center of earnings season, you can have hundreds of these. So I tend to use my briefing.com, which is another one, briefing.com, and it has a calendar on there. But this is a good calendar, and I just want to show you one of the different calendars you can use. A lot of people are saying, where do you get your information? Well, there's a lot of free information out there. All right. Now, there's something I really came across just the last week, and the reason I came across it, I never really was thinking about it too much, but I get a lot of questions, and the questions are, hey, is the president going to be speaking today, or what? Is there any type of tweets coming out? Well, we can't predict the tweets. We know that we cannot predict the tweets, but we can see what the president has on his schedule. So there's a thing called a fact base, or you could look at the address there. It's actually, let me get that back here. Hold on a second. Give you see what it is. factba.se calendar, and basically it gives you Donald Trump's president's public schedule. This is something that's released every day to the local press and people out there. It's open to the public. And basically, it's straight up tells you what's going on. President has no public event scheduled on day. The president meets with Secretary of Defense, receives intelligence briefing, in-house pool, call time. You never know what you're going to see on here. But it's president receives a Hurricane Dorian briefing. And these tend to get released in the morning. So this is sometimes hard to, I don't know if I can actually go forward on this. And they usually update this here. Right here, schedule updates at midnight Eastern time, or when pushed out via social media, whichever is earlier. Available as a Google Calendar. Google maintain U.S. Eastern time zone, may publish earlier when Trump is overseas. So it gets released on midnight, which is a few hours away for the upcoming day. And I think that's just a great tool to have, especially in this time when we're dealing with so much trade issues and stuff. They might sneak something on here. All of a sudden, they might be saying, hey, there might be a meeting with a Chinese guy or something, and they put it out there, and then the press picks it up, and then they run with that. This is where it's going to be announced. So if you get this stuff fast and you can act on it, it's usually a good opportunity to know what's going on. So I kind of like this. I don't know what all these things are. It's 790, 950. I don't know how many days he's in office, maybe. I don't know if this is how many days he's played golf. I don't know. 228 days. I don't know what that is. 292 days. 24 countries. I don't know. But it definitely Google Calendar. You could actually hook it up with your calendar and have this stuff imported. So you'll have it. It's pretty easy to follow. All right, next one here, and you see me use this all the time. This one is called Finviz. Finviz is a site. It has a great screener on it. There's just so much stuff on the site. I think it's a great site. And it's so good that you should consider subscribing for a basic package and stuff. I don't think it's that expensive, but there's so much information. They have a great screener. Insiders, And I'll go to the screener here. And the screener, you can pretty much put in whatever you want to, and it'll give you a nice list of the stocks that fit the criteria. It has technical, the technical screeners, fundamentals. I like the technical one. You can do patterns, candlesticks. You know, really just a really good screener. And then what we also use is the market map here. Is the S&P 500. You click on that right there, and you'll see that. You'll see a picture of. They have ads pop up if you're not a premium subscriber, but you get a nice little map here of the S&P 500 broken down into technology services, etc. And then subsectors, and you can just kind of just scroll over them, and actually you can see a mini chart. If you click on it, the chart will come up. If you double click on it, and that'll give you the daily chart, and it actually places your trend lines and stuff. It's a fantastic site. Highly recommend it. So much here, top gainers, top, you know, just so much here. Also good for the earnings. So if you go take a look at you click on the map here. Again, click on the map. You go over here. You look at performance, 1 day performance, 1 week performance. PEs even has a couple screeners. They have a bubble section. I like going out here, especially towards the end of earnings season, to see what's left. So I click on the earnings date, and the ones that are in purple, I believe, are still to come. So it's easier to see instead of figuring out what's coming out. You could actually look on the S&P 500 and kind of get a feel. You just click on it. It'll tell you the date. It's coming out September 16th. September 17th, Micron here, September 26th, Broadcom, and you know, and so forth. Nike, Constellation Brands, Citigroup. You can see these are starting to come back into play as earnings season's wrapping up here, but this is already starting to go out to October, where the new earnings season will start coming out. But this is always constantly rotated, and you'll see these start to turn. All these will start to turn pink again soon enough. Like I said, a lot of good stuff here. Just a lot of good stuff on this.
Sorry.
Oh boy. Up here where it says map, you can go to bubbles. And this is a nice little feature too. It's just so much to explore on this. You could actually take a look at, you know, what is floating to the top. Basically, what's moving higher and what's moving lower on the day. It's very easy to spot those using the bubble chart. It's a really good. And then again, zoom over. You can see the intraday charts. You can see the daily chart actually, and there's other things here. You could adjust it. It's just you could just go by sector, earnings growth. Say I want to just do basic materials. Boom. I can just look at basic materials there. I mean, wow, how good is that? That's awesome. If there's something you know, looking really good, you might want to. Let's see here. Utilities, consumers. Like today the market was down. We might see utilities being up a little, but not really. Nothing on utilities. Anyway, great tool. Absolutely excellent tool. Don't forget it. That's finviz.com. One last thing I will say about this. There's a great, go to insiders up here on the top. Great way to look for recent insiders. We use this all the time. Top insider trading for the recent week. We'll go to buy transactions right here on the right hand side, and then you click on that and it'll sort them out for you. You can start to see that you know, where, and it's all broken down for you. So just excellent. I don't mind that pop-up. The pop-up still pops up here, but you have to just deal with it. All right, so that's a great tool also. And for our fifth tool, I'm going to throw in Day Trading Radio, the dashboard. What a great dashboard we have. Yeah, I'm throwing the site in there. Have some great indicators to help you determine your buy and sell signals, the tradeometer, just everything else out there for your use. We got a lot of news fed in here. We have our squawk, we have our tick strike, our market pressure gauges, all the alerts, all the controls, the divergence signals, and the live trading overnight. And we got the bot channel here running tonight, actually. The bot is actually running. Sorry if it's a little blurry. I'm capturing it from a different capture. All right, one last thing I want to actually share with you is another place to get a lot of news is on Twitter. Now, I use an application called the Tweetdeck, 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 and it connects to your Twitter, and you can make different columns. Let me see if I could actually zoom in here so we could give you a better view of that without. There we go. So I usually put in individual stocks if I'm following that, but I also have my own news feed that people that I follow. And I'll go over a few of those. Actually, it's going to be I'll use a different video for that, but most of them are there. And most of the major news outlets do send a lot of their news out on Twitter, and it gets picked up. If you're in the game long enough, you'll have a nice selection to from individual traders to your own Jimmy Kimmel. Zero Hedge, Intel Junkie, a lot of but during the day, there's a lot of traders out there that share information and stuff. But it really depends on what you have on there. I have a lot of people that I'm following. There's Jen, a lot of our members and stuff I follow also. But I want to do a separate video altogether to kind of help you out on picking some of the top Twitter feeds you could follow for news out there. Don't forget Day Trading Radio is one of them. I was watching a coup today. You put in a $ in any type of symbol you want. Make sure you put that $ in, and then you could actually follow the comments on that. Kind of worldwide. Here, like Boeing here. You can see how many people mention Boeing in their trades, or you could do Bitcoin, or you could do. But make sure you have that $, which represent a stock symbol or a trading mark there for you. So anything works, like AMZN, $, and best stocks to own for the next. Everyone has some research they're doing. Oh, you have to go through it. You have to get through it and stuff. There's some good stuff out there, but a lot of it takes a lot of weeding through. All right, but TweetDeck, an excellent thing, and that'll be my next video. Some of the top followers on Twitter to kind of help you get started. All right, so that's it for now, and I hope to see everyone in the markets. DayTraderRockStar for Day Trading Radio signing off. I hope you gained some knowledge from that, and if you did, leave a comment, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the markets.